Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to everybody around the world, and welcome to the HCS Fall Season, week number 3, and once again we are back at the action. 6 teams diving into the arena, only 3 can come out on top. My name is Sims, and I will be guiding you through all of today's action. Once again, on the desk, I have the wonderful Mr. Danny boy, I've forgotten completely what I'm going to say there, my mind's going to blank, and Harry Chan on. Gents, how are we feeling? Week number 3, we've made it, we've got some awesome matches coming up. Any highlights for you so far?
So far this week or last week?
Just generally, complete thoughts in all so
I had a
far.
pretty good breakfast this morning.
Well, we'll stick with the fall season. How's
the fall
that sound,
season, yeah. Well, obviously, Cristola's last week, Cristola's clip was absolutely crazy, but it's kind of crazy to think that we're halfway through the season already. This is like the halfway point. Our first match of today will basically be our halfway point throughout the season. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, there is, with the fixtures slightly, I don't think everyone's played each other quite yet. I think by tomorrow they will have, but the way the fixtures work, it's so we see every single game on stream. So I'm excited to see the kind of match. Yeah, I think it was week 1's fixtures that we're going to witness today. So that's going to be, so there's some juicy ones there.
And kind of following on from what Dan just said, we do have one of those matches which will be our match of the day, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. Now, let's run you down through the format to show you guys at home, if you are joining us for the HCS for the first time ever, how we play this thing out. The format: top 6 teams from Europe compete in the league. All teams play each other twice during regular season. The top 4 teams advance to the season finals. 5th and 6th place, the red dead zone where you do not want to be, will fall down to relegation, where 2 open circuit teams will rise to challenge them for a spot in the next season's Pro League. Let's take a look at the actual complete timeline of how this one plays out across both North America and Europe. We started here in September. We move into October. You can see there, HCS Orange County. Big shout out to the Green Wall, who took home that trophy just this weekend. The Pro League will end on the 10th of November, and you can see the rest of the timeline there as we drop down to both regions' grand finals. Some awesome stuff coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, across both seasons, it's going to be an absolute fantastic one. Looking forward to it. And, you know, there's generally just quite a lot of things going on at this moment in time. And I honestly, across both seasons, we've seen some ups, some downs. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing how we kind of, the American side and the European side, do come together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all kind of building up to World Championships. Hopefully we're going to kind of get our best European team and maybe get our best American team. And, you know, I really want to see a European team go over there and make a statement, just like Epsilon did. So it's a good precedent to set now, just to get that early dominance. And I think Fab are doing just that, to be honest. Speaking
of the teams then here in Europe, let's take a look at our first matchup tonight. In our red corner, as we normally say of all the teams on here, we do have Fab, VWS and Vibe. Please note the new roster, not even the new roster, but the new organisation coming into the European Pro League. Anima, Lunny, Ramirez and Chalky were picked up by VWS. Harry, I've got to say, a quick mention of VWS, who's obviously seen these guys in the past. They've had European rosters before. Once again, we're now back in it again, and all the teams have actually been picked up.
Yeah, the Pro League finally completely kitted out with organisations. That's cool. But like you said, VWS first really came into the fray back when the community went back to like Halo 3, and then throughout Halo 2 Anniversary as well, they had a few lineups. I remember a VWS North American lineup with Mikwin on it, and they've had some success here in Europe as well.
And in the blue corner, once as ever, I'm going to skip the first one and we'll come back to that one. Prophecy, 57-20, Vexus and Flames, and then Pulse, SLG, Cali, Punisher and Fragger. The one thing we want to notice here, Team Infused, Batchford, Kimbo, Flux, and look who's returned, Mr. Doodle. Unfortunately, Havoc has had to retire from Team Infused. We wish him the very best of luck. He's a good friend of ours, is Liam Peck. All of us here at the desk, and everyone included, we wish you the best of luck, Liam. But now we welcome back ex-Team Infused member that was released before this season, Doodle. He's a great player. He's a great addition to this team. He's worked with them before. Really looking forward to what he can bring to this lineup once again and really just solidify their position in the Pro League once more. Carry on moving through then, we take a look at last week's matches. Now, these were played out on Thursday. Fab went up against Team Vibe. This was one kind of storyline. These were your 2 top teams going head-to-head. Fab did drop a map, but you do have to notice that. However, they did once again come out dominant with a 3-1 victory. Moving further down the line, VWS yet again solidified themselves as they're in that top 4 group as they went 3-1 against Pulse Gaming. Finally, we saw a little bit of life coming out of Prophecy. They did unfortunately get the reverse sweep and go down in the series and lose the series 3-2, but a couple of maps nevertheless. This week, we are really looking at Team Prophecy. Can they get that #1 win on the board? We'll show you exactly who they're going to be playing today. Right down at the bottom there, VWS. They are eyes on the prize. If Prophecy want to get a win on the board, they've got to take down these guys. But honestly, kind of a shock to everybody else, VWS have been playing absolutely fantastic. It's not going to be an easy matchup whatsoever, but Prophecy have yet to get a win. It's a big, big game. At the top, our current match of the week, Team Vibe taking on Pulse Gaming. The last 2 times these 2 teams matched up, it was a Game 5. And oh boy, it was a very, very strong one. It all came down to that final matchup. And I believe, I look to you gentlemen here, that was a very tight, close Slayer match in the end?
Yeah, it was a Plaza Slayer that was 50-46. So one of those ones that could have gone either way, to be honest. And it's going to be how these guys are going to bounce back from that. Do you kind of pick maps that you were confident with and that you've already won, or do you try and veto away maps that these guys have won? It's going to be interesting to see what they've gone for. And
then finally, the second match of the evening will be Fab against Team Infused. Kind of throwing Doodle in at the deep end there. Team Infused being, Fabby going to be his first matchup. It's going to be a very, very hard one. As you can see them there sitting dominant at the top of the leaderboard. 4 wins, 0 losses. As we move our way down, Team Vibe 3-1 there, only lost to the guys above. 2-2 for VWS and 2-2 also for Team Infused. Looking to see if them two kind of switch places tonight, only separated by map win percentage. Down at the bottom, Pulse, of course, they've got 1 win on the board. It's better than 0, which is quite unfortunate for Prophecy, who are sitting there 0-4, 14% map win ratio. But all that could change tonight. This is a team that certainly, it's got a lot of names on it. There's a lot of things, a lot of potential, it's safe to say. But they've had a rough season so far.
I think it's worrying, more so worrying, seeing Pulse back in relegation. I mean, after week 1, we were like, yeah, Pulse, they're going to be at the finals.
We
These
were
guys
hyping
are
them up.
incredible. We were like, down there, they're top 2, and now they're back in relegation. And it's like, oh boy, is it going to happen again? Please no, not like this.
They're on a 3-game losing streak, aren't they?
They
won the first match that we streamed, like in week 1, and they haven't won a game since. Although obviously they've had to play kind of tough opposition. They've had to play Fab and Vibe a couple of times. Again, we've got to say, Pulse and Prophecy, the 2 teams that were in the relegation zone at the end of last season, in the relegation zone again. Although Pulse is still within reaching distance of the other teams, kind of in that mid-table area as well. So they're still in contention. A win today would certainly help them out, but again, they're going up against Vibe. So it's a tough one to win.
This could really be, I know again I'm kind of throwing this out earlier than you mentioned it before, it's still not over, but this could essentially, if they win this could be a driving factor to whether that makes them or breaks them, and they see out of the relegation and here at the fall season finals. And of course, I want to mention, we saw it down there on the link. If you want to be joining us here, I can now officially say we have sold over half of the tickets. They're only a couple of quid. I've said this before, guys. It's a cracking weekend. Join us here live in Studio 1. You get to meet the players, hang out, have some food, and honestly just watch some really damn good Halo. Awesome weekend. ESL.gg/EUHCS-fall is where you pick them up. And as you can see on screen now, that little badge there is what you will also bag yourself. You can only get these by going to a HCS sanctioned event. People, I believe, who attended Orange County will be getting these on their gamer tags. I'm sure I saw something on social. Could be wrong, don't call me on that one. I'm sure they'll be landed on the gamer tags. However, if you come to this, you're going to be bagging that yourself.
That's pretty fancy, though. I mean, you go in matchmaking, you see a guy rocking like some animated emblem with like the HCS logo. It's like, oh, this guy might actually be pretty good.
Either that or he could be like me and just sit back and watch.
Sims does get an emblem, so there's that.
Hey, you know what? I better do anyway. I'll be upset if I don't.
I kind of want one.
It'll be very, very disappointing if we don't. Tashi, hook it up, brother. Anyway, our first game is about to get underway. Team Vibe versus Pulse Gaming. This is an awesome one, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if Pulse really want to solidify themselves in that top 4, they have to take down the boys in purple, Team Vibe. Let's take a look at the roster now on screen and run you through who makes up this powerhouse of 4 incredible players. Snaky, Cristola, Snipe Drone, Septic. 4 amazing European names, 4 amazing European talent. I'm going to pass this one over to you, gentlemen, and just kind of run us through really briefly about these players. It's a powerhouse.
Yeah, it essentially is. I mean, we have Snakey and Septic, who were on Vibe last season. They're kind of the core of the team, have kind of remained there. And they've picked up 2 superstars in Snipe Drone. We all know what he can do from the Epsilon fame, and a little bit on the X-Men, but not so much. But also Cristola. I mean, we saw what he could do last week. He was absolutely ripping face. He wasn't missing. He put up pretty much the highlight of the European Pro League so far last week. I mean, it was an absolutely fantastic showing from him, and this lineup all round just looks solid. They're second in the league right now, 3-1. They're looking very strong.
And you look at those 4 and you'd probably be thinking, all right, who's doing the best? Snipe Drone, Septic, but Cristola is plus 40 currently during the Pro League, and that is a good 30 kills ahead of the rest of his team. So he is the standout player for me, and obviously, as Harry said, that the sniper shots that he was hitting last week was absolutely incredible.
I think kind of what's most scary, just before we jump onto this team, is the fact that you've got 4 snipers on that can all do work with that weapon. Let's take a look at the men from across the sea. It's going to be the French, Pulse Gaming, SLG, Cali, Punisher, and Fragger. Now, this is kind of the Team Allegiance North American counterpart, where you look at where they are on the league table, but it does not tell the storyline. This is a different roster to what we saw in summer season.
It really is. They looked so strong during week 1, and quite rightly, Harry said they have a tough couple of games playing Fab, playing Vibe, but that game against VWS last week, they probably should have won that. I mean, you're looking at it on paper and how well Pulse were performing, I was really expecting them to do a little bit better, but you know, now is their chance to come back at Vibe and say, look, we've seen what you've done, you beat us 3-2, they were close games, we know we can take games off you, and I would be expecting Pulse to make a game of this. And SLG, he's your main man, he's currently plus 37 overall, so compared to the rest of his team who are down at like minus 21 and minus 2, he's doing some real work, and he's going to be wanting to put some people on his shoulders for sure.
He is the team captain. You can kind of see some of the wordings on there. He does have a lot of confidence and trust in his team, and that's what you want from a team captain. You want to be able to trust, and you also want to be able to know that you're backed up. We saw him last week. He was absolutely wrecking face on some of the map when he was playing Fab because his team play around him. And honestly, when you have that level of play with the team, I'm so surprised they are so far down the table. It kind of only tells a story to how tight this fall season is. Just really quickly, let's take a look at this best of 5 layout for your match number 1, Vibe versus Pulse Gaming. Eden Strongholds coming in hot at game number 1. Plaza Slayer for game number 2. Coliseum Capture the Flag will be your 3rd and possibly final game. It was a 3-0, but if not, we'll be going to maps 4 and 5. It's double the Rig, Strongholds, and Team Slayer. Anything you gentlemen can kind of see from these maps?
There's a couple of snipers in there, you know, a bit of Plaza, a bit of Coliseum. I know the Rig Strongholds now has a sniper on it as well, so that's going to be a bit of a fun series to watch, to be honest with you. I mean, we're going to have 2 teams with incredible snipers just going up against each other on these maps with snipers on the map. I mean, coming back to SLG, we saw some of the shots he was hitting last week. He was sitting people down, basically. I mean, he was... I mentioned before the cast last week, I said, hey, he's probably in the top 5, in my top 5 right now, which is pretty incredible considering where Pulse are in the league. I mean, they're 5th in the league. And then as soon as I saw him hitting those shots, I was like, okay, the aim was pretty much the only question I had about SLG. And for him to show that he could hit those ridiculous shots under pressure as well was absolutely fantastic. So for me, I'm going to be looking out for SLG to come alive in this series and really put on a show.
I think we will go to a game 5 here as well. You've got 3 game types that were in that last series when they faced each other. Coliseum CTF, Vibe actually beat Pulse on that one. Plaza Slayer, obviously Vibe won as well. But then you've also got Eden Strongholds, which Pulse actually took off Vibe, so there is a chance for them. Wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 2-1 after those first 3, and it's going to be those Rig game types that are going to come down to it, as they haven't faced each other on those yet.
And just quickly before we kind of get into the game a little bit, I mean, Pulse at the moment 1-3. If they win this series, they're 2-3. It's very manageable. If they lose it though, 1-4. That's going to put a massive rift between them and the next closest in the league. So very important that Pulse win this series.
Tonight, when we kind of look at those stand-ins, teams really start to cement themselves as we kind of climb our way towards finals. This is the kind of, well, we're halfway there. Yeah. It's week number 3. This is the exact halfway point. And where you're kind of going to be sitting now, especially on tomorrow's matches, depending on how the scores fall. But hey, this is Halo. Anything can happen. We've said it time and time again. Yeah. Anything wild can happen. There was some wild stuff that went down at Orange County. Some absolutely mind-boggling results. And we also saw even E6 getting knocked out of the Beyond tournament. You know, anything can happen in Halo, and honestly, we welcome it. It's all about storyline at the end of the day. But this is where teams start to kind of solidify themselves and cement their position on the league table. Honestly, I can see this being a Game 5. It's been a Game 5 before, but I must say, Vibe have been hammering and really going at it against Fab. They know the kind of That's the team that you want to be beating here, and it's really good practice when you kind of look at who they're going up else against. Depending on who, if Pulse Gaming have been practicing at that same level as well, then fair play. But I really do know Vibe have been putting in the man hours.
They definitely have, and if you had asked me after week 1 who would win this matchup, I probably would have lent towards Pulse after seeing what they did, but afterwards, Vibe have just continued to grow in strength, and that team just seems to have the right kind of players. They all kind of fit those certain attributes for a team, and you can always rely on one of them to do something important for the team. There is no kind of sandbag on that team. There's no one that you think might let you down. They all do the hard work. They can all hit shots with snipers, and they all know how to control power weapons.
I love it how you actually comment sniper, and you just see it spinning around up there and chilling away. We got a lot of stuff going on in Eden Strongholds. Anything can happen. You can see in the red bar 100 points to win. If you get there before the time runs out, before your opponent, you will claim victory in this matchup. The game is about to go live. Ladies and gentlemen, please tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. This could go all the way.
Interesting note before we start this one off. Pulse actually have a higher win percentage on Strongholds game types over Vibe. Pulse have 78 win percentage and Vibe only have 57.
All right, then kicking it off. Snipe Drone going one-on-one. Gets the first initial kill. First strike pops out of the window. Takes down Cali. We're seeing on the kill feed there. SLG also falls to Snaky, but Punisher will be answering back. 2 people kind of locking down this catwalk right now. But let's look at the overall picture. We got Pulse spawning in red base, and they kind of, looked in. When you look at Cristola there, Rocket's in his back pocket, just holding down Redness on their own. They've essentially just pinned them into one side. 150% of the map already, and we're not even 30 seconds into the game.
Yeah, and this is one thing I've noticed about Vibe just across the weeks, that their starting strats are always spot on. They know exactly where they want to go, and they manage to just control the map instantly, and they put their opponents on the back foot, and it's always difficult when you do get stuck on spawn. Then you have to kind of decide where you want to push. You're going to be looking at your captain to make those decisions, and that captain is SLG, and I mean, he's quite a quiet bloke, I'm not going to lie. You need him to be loud and proud and decide where you are going to push, as now Cristola is just kind of controlling this catwalk, and he's happy for anyone to challenge him because he knows he's got support coming from red base as well.
I think the worst thing as well, as we looked at that play that was going one-on-one with it, the fact that when you looked at the kill feed, 3 members were down, and now they're going to be spawning back in red once again, so they'll be able to clear out Blue Bend, possibly push it. In fact, as he drops down, he actually starts to transfer up top on catwalk now. 2 members will fall back. It's going to be Septic and Cristola. You look across at Red Nest. If they get that kill, that'll be huge. No, they don't get it in time. Red Nest will be transferred back into the hands of Pulse Gaming. Now they have 2 plots on the map, and they're starting to put a little, just a couple of points on the board. Steady away. Still plenty of time to do everything. Septic's going to bag himself the BR as well, and we know how nasty he is, and his aim. They'll be able to do some awesome stuff, and just as I say that, he gets dropped.
Look how traditional Vibe has been playing it, though. They had the 2 strongholds, and they weren't really pushing for the 3rd. They were more than happy just to keep slaying them on spawn and just say, look, Pulse, you're going to be stuck there, then we'll keep you in there and just keep slaying you.
Yeah, I want to give a massive shout out to Snaky. The reason Vibe have this lead at the moment is because Snaky, once again, controlling the power weapons. We saw when the 3 of the Pulse Gaming members went down, 2 of which were to the hands of Snaky with the rocket launchers. So great power weapon control out of this man right here, and he's staying alive excellently as well, anchoring this stronghold.
But look at that, the Rockets are still up. That's about, I want to say 10, maybe even 15, 20 seconds that Rockets have actually been untouched. No one's bothering it. They're all about the objective. Still, nobody outside. How long are these Rockets going to remain uncontested? Fragger's got the OS. I'm very surprised that he's not pushed into him.
Well, I think sometimes it gets to a point where you know if you push for those rockets, you might just give away a death. And sometimes it's more important to stay alive and keep control of these of the strongholds and the map as well. Then you push for rockets once you know you're definitely going to get them. Because if you do just push randomly towards them, it could get ugly. As Fragger is actually going to try and push round behind a couple of guys here. Does aim kind of aimlessly with his assault rifle, but does eventually pick up the kill.
Yeah, turns around. Oh! What?
No.
What a turn. What a turn. Turns around, Cristola gets booted out the nightclub. Down he goes. Fragger's still on the defensive. Goes into catwalk. He's going to get lit up by Snipe Drone from over in the red window. But Snipe Drone actually gets shut down. Look at all these people just trying to shoot him, but they're getting cleaned up one by one. They're all paying attention at Fragger. His teammates just around him saying, you know what, boys, you're looking at him. We'll take the free kills, no problem. All 4 down. Triple cap for Pulse Gaming.
And this is where it could punish Vibe for not pushing in, not get aggressive, not going for that 3 cap. They were more than happy with 2, saying, look, okay, we're controlling the map, we'll just get you off spawn. But now Pulse are pushing in. They have the rockets as well. They trapped Vibe this time. And if you can bleed that a little bit longer in Strongholds game types, that is how you're going to win. Pulse beat Vibe 100 to 90 last time they played this game type. It was obviously a close one. I think this one's going to be close too.
Yeah, 37 to 28. Only a 9-second lead. Extremely fragile. Punisher and his teammate just watching by. He needs some help and support though. Snipe Drone comes in. He'll light him up with the AR. Down he goes. No shield. He's just going to wait here flashing. Does get his shields back. He's going to push up now. Watch for that radar though. Snipe Drone's waiting. But look at the support coming in from his teammate. He took him down. Shields were now cleaned up the kill. Septic just watching Catwalk, but the Catwalk belongs to them. They don't need to push in. Septic can stay there. As long as he's keeping him pinned in the base, they're going to be spawning red. They can just bring it on, lads. Bang! We're going to see a reversal come out of it there as he gets a punch to the jawline. A nice little trade-off. And once again, for the second time, that's going to be both the OS and a fresh set of rockets in the hands of Pulse Gaming.
Yeah, all the power-ups are going to Pulse. We spoke before last week about how Kali is one of those players that times weapons, so credit to him for getting all these power-ups and power weapons in the hand. But I've got to say, Vibe needs to be careful. They keep pushing alone. We've seen Snipe Drone several times just pushing and taking one-on-ones that he doesn't really need to. Yeah,
this is absolutely ridiculous efficiency here, actually, out of Pulse. SLG got the rockets pretty much free of charge, and then he got the overshield as well, and then they all rotated around to get the new camouflage. So this is absolutely magnificent, a beautiful move there out of Pulse. But unfortunately, at the moment, it's Vibe that are scoring.
However, in doing that, Harry, they did all flush into control. They all sat there, as you mentioned, they had OS, they had rockets, they had camo. But that allowed, because they're all over their side, that allowed Vibe just to go around the outside, pass over rocket area, drop down into blue, take blue, and now we will have to see kind of Pulse Gaming really push it back. Catwalk is getting transferred. If he gets that kill, that's going to be massive. He does have support. He's looking across. This will be a huge 2 kills if he can get either of them. One's one shield. That's one. Oh, he managed to just get it at the last second. I believe he does at least have some rockets. So Suicide, no! Gets the double, killing spree from SLG. Awesome work coming out of him so far, and he's got 2 rockets left down.
Yeah, it just seems at the moment whenever Pulse have control, they're just bleeding it that little bit extra than Vibe are, and Vibe just can't get as much on the Strongholds as total control once again for Pulse, and that's really been the key difference. Vibe have not had total control at all. They haven't been pushing for it, so perhaps they might change their game plan a little bit. They might say, look, we need to get aggressive. We're on the back foot. We're allowing Pulse to control this game. We just need to continue pushing them and not give them time to breathe.
So far, this is all down to SLG. I don't want to call one person out. I know it's a team effort, but so far I think he was on a killing spree. Then we saw a capture spree coming out of him. You heard in the medal feed. Oh, that was some fantastic support. We mentioned SLG trusting his teammates, and look at that. Someone comes out of nowhere, gives the guy the back smack. Down he goes. Look at these kills. 10, 12, 11, and 9. All in consecutive, unfortunately. Team captain Septic at the bottom, not having the greatest of matches. 80 points are about to tick over, guys, to 43. This is a massive, massive lead for Pulse Gaming. Great confidence from the team right now.
Yeah, I've not seen a member of Pulse Gaming on their own. They are always supporting each other. They've always got each other's back. However, on the other side of Vibe, several times, Snipe Drone's been caught out on his own. Cristola been caught out on his own. I know these guys are confident. I know they have fantastic shots, but they need to be careful. They need to have the awareness not to be pushing without their teammates sometimes.
This could be a turning point right here. Snakey's actually just grabbed the new rocket launcher, and last time around, when Vibe got that lead early on in the game, it was thanks to this man once again getting that rocket launcher. So this could absolutely be a turning point here in the game.
Everything's getting a little bit scrappy over at red as they all push on towards it. Snakey's moving over as well. YOLO rocket goes in. Fires 1, fires 2. SLG doesn't find the target. One player's going to fall behind him. Look at the support. Every time we look at SLG, he's got someone shooting him. Then a teammate will just clean him up from behind to allow him to move on forward. They're now getting the red back again. They're going to take red nest. They only need 8 more points. They can just dart back and forth. But as we're saying that, we're going to see all of Vibe. They're just bombing into Catwalk. They're going to transfer that back instantly. Now it all comes down to this capture. If they can grab this, he needs a little bit of support. I believe he has 2 members pushing in from behind him over in the rocket area. If they can just lock these down now, which they don't, once again, it's just kind of move from one, push to another. But as we say that, Dan, they're actually going to transfer Red Nest back, so it's still in their hands, still ticking over. They're pushing for the triple cap again. Cristola's going to be one shot. He's going to clean that one up. I think this could be game, set, and match, boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a way back into this for Vibe now. They're trying their best. They're all bombing that catwalk, but because they're all pushing so desperately with these last few seconds ticking over, it's playing into the hands of Pulse as they are going to go 1-0 up in this series, and they've done it again. They've beaten them on Eden Strongholds.
We said it could be a turning point in the game. Snakey completely wasting those rockets. I mean, like, what was he even trying to achieve? He was just jumping in front of the base. Cali actually had a huge triple. Wow. I don't know if you guys copped for it. I kind of tried switching to him in case he had an overkill on the board when we swapped to him with the plasma rifle, and he had the camouflage as well. So 18 kills out of Cali, so great job here. Just all round out of Pulse, to be honest with you. 8 captures out of Fragger. He's really doing the heavy objective. Then on the other side, you've got to say Septic, 4 kills, not good enough. You certainly need to be outputting more kills if you want to be beating this Pulse lineup.
And it is good to see Cali getting a lot of kills on the board as well. I mean, I think he's minus 21. Well, he was now until now.
Yeah.
Now he's just minus 3. I mean, this guy is getting back into it. He was the lowest KD across his team. I know he is very important and he gets those power-ups and he times a lot. But if he can get the kills as well, that's of course going to help out Pulse. And this is a lot better. This is a more dominant performance when they beat them last time in Eden Strongholds. It was just a 10-point difference. This time, 46. So good work from these guys.
I mean, we say it was all about... we mentioned Cali and these power-ups and stuff. But I saw SLG maybe 3 times having rockets and OS. We saw plenty of guys picking up the camo. It was just dominated by power weapon control. These guys, the French, they're known for it time and time again. They are just absolutely destroying teams and just ending lives all the time. Anything on the map, the French will utilize. And I think that's why, especially when you see them, I mean, this may just be me. I get ninjaed by the French a lot, and I think this all just comes down to all these smart abilities and just utilizing what's on the map, what's in front of you, what you've got in your tool case, really just using it, maximizing it to the best of its ability. And there we have it. Pulse Gaming taking Eden Strongholds. Game number 1, Vibe will instantly go down on the back foot. More than anything for me, that's going to give them a lot of confidence because that was a pretty big stomping. They doubled the scoreline. Septic only dropped 4 kills. Yep. It's going to not be great for your confidence moving forward.
Saving grace for Vibe, though, is that their lowest win percentage is on Strongholds game types. They only have 57 win percentage. Their win percentage on Slayers and Capture the Flags much better than it is on Strongholds. So that's kind of a saving grace for them, but certainly not how you want to start off a series, especially against a Pulse lineup, which is kind of heavily based on momentum. And once that fiery French roster gets firing, it's pretty hard to stop them, basically slapping you around.
I mean, but last time these guys faced off, Pulse went 2-1 up in the series, and then Vibe were able to come back and win 3-2. So regardless of momentum, I still trust Vibe, and I think they can get back into it. Next game, Plaza Slayer, which Vibe did beat Pulse 50-46. It was obviously a very tight affair. It was the deciding game last time, which changes a lot. It changes your playstyle because you don't want to die, you don't want to give away that series. So I'm expecting quite a fast-paced game here. I'm expecting them both to go kind of head-to-head, toe-to-toe, and just take it to each other just to try and get on that front foot.
Well, we're going to be moving into a Slayer, so we'll see if the French can continue on and take the series 2-0, move it up as we move into that third and final game, or if Vibe can answer back. Honestly, I think maybe for confidence, you absolutely do need to be able to take this second map, but they've done it before. Still waiting for the Sims sword lunge.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He wants you to pick up the sword and lunge across the desk.
Media Brew.
Media Brew.
In fact, I'm not doing anything for you, bro. You've beat me far too many times, my friend.
Pretty sure it breaks several health and safety regulations anyway.
Yeah, this thing's pretty...
There's a lot of paperwork that comes with that kind of thing.
Pretty dangerous, and it also reveals the tape that's holding it up, so we certainly can't. Just while we are really quick before we get into this next matchup, Frankles, Frosty, Unishek, I want to wish them all a very, very happy birthday from all of us here at the desk.
Happy birthday.
No. Well, you actually led me on then. I was hoping we were going to carry on, but you've just left me hanging, bro.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even join it.
To be fair, Dan is... If you can send Dan some support, our little ginger friend is struggling today.
I'm ill as well. Send me support.
Mate, you're ill every week. You just
to be fair, you do say you're ill every week.
It's the
as soon as you actually kind of come out of your student accommodation, just out of that room, the fresh air just sat in there with your Halo.
Haven't opened my windows in 3 months.
But you're right.
Actually have.
I am a little bit unwell, but Halo makes me feel better. And if Cristola can hit some more shots like he did last week, then that is going to be better than any lip sip.
That was a montage. Straight at the end there, we kind of called it, and we actually, when we jumped on board with the flag guy at the end, he was actually sitting there, and then you just know if it's like, don't cap it, boys. Don't cap it. I'm still sniping. Don't cap it. Don't cap it.
I'm on for a Jaro. Stop. Don't cap it yet. That's
Speaking
alright,
of,
the time has run out. You can cap it now.
Speaking of big kill, did you see 57's atrocity at the
Yeah.
Atrocity, yeah.
It was.
But did you see what Baxter tweeted back to him?
No, I didn't.
Think of how many times you haven't done that when it's mattered. Oh, that one stings deep.
Damn.
Ooh, savage.
Brutal
I need to change my underwear. Just saying that made me feel so disgusting.
I have notes on Prophecy's KD ratio, but I'll save that for later.
I don't think there's enough numbers in the world for...
Do you want to do it while we're here?
No,
We've got a couple of minutes to...
That's fine.
I mean,
are you going to wait until they actually play and the cat hear you?
Yeah.
I see how you go with this one.
I love the Bucks. I don't want them to hate me.
If you are just joining us, guys, in a second, we're going to bring you up the best of 5 layout and show you how game number 1 went down and what we have coming up through the rest of this series. In fact, I've been informed that there's a ticker on the bottom, so there actually is. Shout out to production in the back for getting the ticker working. You can actually see what's going to be coming up. As we're moving into this next Slayer matchup then, Harry, you mentioned that Vibe, of course, aren't the strongest when it comes to Strongholds, ironically. How do they sit when it comes to Slayers? And what's your feel on them? On
Slayers, they actually have a 76% win percentage compared to Pulse's 35%. That's actually kind of scary. But I think one of the most important things for Pulse on this game type especially, get the sniper in the hands of SLG and get Cali protecting him. We've seen it so many times in the past where that bodyguard system, that buddy system has worked so effectively. They've been able to pick off kills left, right and center without trades coming in. That's absolutely huge for Pulse. If they can get that going right off the back and make sure they maintain the power-up control throughout the game, I think they're going to be just fine and they could take this game number 2.
All right then, kicking things off with the man, the myth, the legend that is Snipe Drone. Sniping his name. Usually good at sniping by nature, but it's all about whether he can get his hands on it because he's got quite a lot of teammates. Gets the kill. The OS is burned. Massive one to kick it off with. But look at this. It's in Team Captain SLG's hands, and he's looking to do some dirty work, but you know what? The second he spins around, he's going to be Cristola to shut him down.
Oh dear.
The big question is, guys, has the montage begun?
I mean, it could do, but he's got to stay alive. And if I were him now, I'd just run. Just communicate with your teammates. Make sure you stay alive here because it's important you don't give away this sniper. I love how Vibe just pincered the SLG there at the snipe tower. As soon as one player initiated that fight, there was another one right behind to make sure he kind of swept up that kill. Now, Cristola is just kind of fighting for map placement at the moment to try and get someone with the sniper to do some damage, but he's not able to do that, so it will be passed across to one of his other teammates. And okay, so a fairly strong start from both teams. No one's really dominating this early scene, Sims.
Look at that camera movement. I'm quite impressed with that. Have a cheeky peek around the corner, then jump on board with the sniper. Nice work, Harry. Here we are then with Team Captain Septic. He has to do a lot better, it's safe to say, than what he did in the previous matchup with only 6 kills. It was 6 or 4? I think it might have been 4, excuse me. Only 4 kills, looking to really cement his team back in this series now by taking one map. Will drop down. I think he had to tag him up. I saw the hit markers come in there. SLG will opt to back off. He did actually push in aggressively and chase the kill, but his teammate was there to at least put some shots on and scare him and push him back. No hit marker lands off that one. Wasted a couple of bullets, I want to say. No one's landed them. Scopes in, and I actually think that was a headshot there. No, it wasn't. It didn't show up in the kill feed, so that'll have been another tag as well. But 2 kills in the kill feed coming out of the hands of Pulse Gaming, so they can now collapse. It's 2-on-4. They want to shut down Septic and bring this sniper rifle back into their hands.
Yeah, here comes the noise. Septic's just left on his own, and there are 2 members of Pulse just chasing him, trying to find this sniper rifle because they know that it can do some serious damage in the right hands. Septic does pick up a body shot as well. Nice job from this. And I said that it was going to be a fast-paced game, but it's kind of slowed down because that sniper rifle has been in these kind of unorthodox positions. No one's really known where to push because they're worried about getting taken out by it.
Really excellent work here out of Vibe, actually. I mean, they were all kind of pinned in the yard with Pulse just breathing down their necks. Septic did such a great job diving down the driveway and getting away. Great rotation with the sniper, and now they kind of have the favorable map position ready to set up for this next set of overshields. In fact, it's already up, look, so Septic very aware of this, but Cali is the man trying to go for it. He has enough shields, and Septic here just trying to do as much damage as he can before he goes down.
Rip, unfortunately, he does go down. Cali grabbed the OS, and he's going to grab Sniper as well, so now he's going to be able to rotate over here in Cinema, just looking for anyone spawning. They're going to be over in the cafe area and pushing towards that yard. Snaky is camping up on glass. He does have a teammate below him. 2-and-2 split, they're kind of crossing over the map, but they're all moving down towards this glass area. SLG pushing in, he's got support once again. This team just working like a complete unit. Snaky's grenading, trying to give him a little bit of cover fire, and now it all quietens down once again. And I'm going to be honest here, this is a pretty slow game. This is a lot slower than what you normally see Plaza TS play out.
Well, what's very interesting is when I was commentating last, it was actually 11-10 in favor of Vibe. So basically, Pulse able to get 5 kills without reply here, Dan.
Well, do you remember last week when Pulse were against Fab on Plaza, and Pulse took something like a 30-10 lead or something like that against Fab, but then they threw it away. Fab were able to come back into it. So they are clearly trying to work on these kind of mishaps that they did have last week. They're trying to control the game a little bit better, and it's working so far as they are keeping Vibe pinned, but they're not getting those kills, they're not racking up those kills, and slowly but surely Vibe are starting to escape one by one and picking up kills of their own.
So there's only one bullet in that sniper across the map there, so that at least know that once that bullet's gone, it's over and done with. SLG missing that shot. He did go down, and we just track him back for a second on his previous death. The really super aggressive push came in from Cristola with a silenced SMG. Did not expect it, so they at least shut down that. Cristola come diving through the window as well. Ooh. Went for the ninja, didn't quite land it. Cristola says no, so they're going to transfer that. The light rifle will go down. Silenced SMG gets whipped out again because, honestly, if you go up close and personal with that thing, it will tear you in half. And now no one can really touch him. Please reload. A hate of mine, running around with 2 bullets. It's really triggering, man.
That's what you need, bro.
Nah, man, it's triggering the living daylights out of me. Please reload.
Yeah, but how are you going to hit the no-scope reload for the triple with 4 bullets?
We're getting too intense.
What if he reloads now, just as someone's about to walk in, but he can't use a 3rd bullet? Can you going to reload, mate?
Yeah, look,
it could have. Listen to Sims.
There you go. He may have been able to get that kill if he would have reloaded in time, but never mind. The new combo will come in. Will be taken down by Septic, and then Cristola will finish it off. Only needs 1 bullet to kind of body him in the chest there. Down he goes. 1 bullet remaining in the chamber. Trying to find someone's faces, and they've got a 1-kill lead. Exceptionally fragile. Anything can happen at this point. It's still anybody's game.
If he had reloaded, maybe he would have pushed the overshield guy a little bit too aggressively. But in the end, Cristola actually played that very, very well, working with his teammate, just pinging off the overshield. I think it was Punisher in the end from Pulse who picked up that overshield. So Pulse gonna know the time on the next one. SLG taking down Sniper Gun's huge as well, but Cristola is just doing Cristola things.
It's been one of those games as well so far where it goes through periods of just everyone's a little bit quiet. You get this kind of stalemate going on, and as soon as one player dies, the rest of the teams just dive in and enter this massive team fight. And it's whoever comes out on top, whoever gets those few really important kills, that then sets up and forces their opposition over there in yard.
That map movement though, coming out of Cristola, if he'd have got away with that, I would have been absolutely blown away. Sniper drone grabbing a reversal as well, picking up a double with the AR. We're going to see Snaky transitioning over to the sniper rifle. He'll crouch down, just wait for anyone to try and use that weapon as a little bit of bait, but all 3 members we can see on the player outlines. Unfortunately, Sniper Drone has no ID. He clips for one on the radar, walking up the stairwell.
Oh, wow.
SLG finds an easy kill, does try to ninja him. He says no, this will be a nice double for him if he picks it up, but unfortunately he has to reload. Gets cleaned up by the storm rifle from SLG coming off the spawn. Now we see Punisher and everyone kind of moving towards Snake. He's just laying. He's just waiting there in ambush. 2 players. He'll get some support from Septic if he does poke out. Fragger's there. But look at the guy up on S4. He's just camping away. Very, very patient.
I mean, the last time these guys faced, as I said, it was a game 5. And imagine if it was this close in a game 5. It must have been so tense. They're so passive, despite it only being game 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's absolutely a huge part of the game, because not only was the sniper coming up, the overshield was coming up as well. I'm not really too sure where the overshield actually went. In fact, it looks like SLG is still just waiting for it to come up. There we go. This is a big part of the game. If SLG can secure this overshield, which he does, it looks like Pulse are in a great position. If he can clean off this kill right here, wow, Sniper Gun somehow gets away with the kill. Looks like we've had a bit of a disconnect there as well, so we will wait for a ruling on that one. But either way, it was a great play there out of SLG to grab the overshield, and it looks like we are remaking the game.
Yeah, 30. I think it was 31-30 the actual score when the player got disconnected. Is it Snaky? Let's take a quick look. I believe if it is, yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have been informed that Snaky has been down where he lives. There has been a lot of power cuts over the last week, and it does keep going out in his area, so we kind of expected that one. That's why I mentioned it beforehand. So we do apologise about that one. There's nothing we can do. I can only assume it was that. Again, they did at least warn us that Snaky could be disconnecting tonight, so we are aware of it. But
one thing I wanted to say was, we highlighted before the game, watch out for SLG and Cali, that kind of bodyguard system. We didn't really see too much of it on stream, but between the two of them, between SLG and Cali in that kind of game, Pulse had 32 kills, 21 of those were between SLG and Cali. So they're doing their fair share of work in the slaying department.
I'm also fairly certain they got every overshield. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you might be right, Daniel.
I think they did. I think they got every overshield. But if you're getting every overshield and you're only 2 kills ahead, then all Vibe need to do is work on getting an overshield, and then you'd think that they should be able to take a game.
So, playing with some of his ex-compadres that have took him out in competition before. Talik does play with many people, does try and get himself in the Pro League. He's down in that open circuit as well. Now, the game's underway, guys. Rock and roll. Here we go. Slayer on Plaza. It is the remake. Please don't lag out. Please don't lag out. Please don't lag out. We'll see if we can get this game underway, and we'll see if we can get to the end of it finally. Again, apologies guys to everybody around the world. Thank you so much for bearing with us. This is going to be an awesome matchup. Talik subbing in place of Snakey. Let's see if he can do Team Vibe proud.
Yeah, he's got no pressure really. All he has to do now is maybe make a case for himself and say, look, this is what I did when I had my chance in Pro League, and then you never know when the kind of transfers come around, someone might want to pick him up, perhaps even Pulse. He might be added to the French lineup, who knows? But we are going to crack on into Plaza Slayer. It is a remake after it was 30-30, but this is a different start from Vibe now. Snipe Drone looks for the triple kill, but doesn't get it. Cristola says, no, I'll have it instead.
Yeah, it don't really matter about getting stolen, as long as your teammate's there to finish it off, and as long as the player goes down, then who gives a damn? Snipe Drone will be trying to dive in that window, just checks it out, reloads on the silenced SMG, creeps around really slowly. I'm looking just to see if we can catch. Yes, there's actually 3 players around that corner, so if he comes around this, he's going to get a full face of French personnel. Going to see one person dropping down and running out in the open. He's going to try and tag him up. SLG grabbing a nice double with the SMG. That's a mouthful. SLG with the SMG in the kill feed there. Snipe Drone just going to put down a landmine and hope somebody walks into that, but nobody does. No hit markers are found.
Once again, I mean, I'm glad Snipe Drone has rotated round to push with his team, because he was on his own again, and he keeps finding himself in certain areas of the map where if he does get spotted, he is going to be punished, as now Cristola is in that position. He's trying to sneak around, they're trying to be sneaky and get these flanks on the go, but they're just not working, as Pulse have control of Snipe. They've also just basically forced Vibe back into this yard, and Vibe are struggling to get out. I was going to say that's a really important kill for Cristola, taking down the sniper. It now gives them room to push out, to get aggressive, but unfortunately there are several members of Pulse there to stop them doing so. But good work from Talek, nice pistol shots. Yeah,
nice. At least he took down the kill there. I thought he was about to get away with it with that thrust at the end. The SLG been used. SMG, excuse me. That really is a mouthful looking at these 2 players. 7-11 is the scoreline. They're starting to creep away with a tiny bit of a lead. It's 1-for-1 at the moment, as we see it now move into 8-12. Snipe Drone, though, does have Sniper in his hand. I'm seeing in the kill feed. Septic takes down one. He meets a player down bottom mid. At least they're going to help each other out as Fragza looks on to try and take one down. Snipe Drone gets cleaned up by a nice 4-shot coming in from the hot BR there of him. And Septic once again finds himself on the floor, but a player drops down. It's going to be Fragger. Half shield, easy kill. There's the double. Storm rifles in hand. And now he's just waiting for this player to peek out on the light rifle.
Yeah, next overshield's coming up very soon as well, but this is kind of a like-for-like kind of scenario we had before the restart. I mean, it just seems to be team fights all across the map. This next overshield is going to be huge. I think Snipe Drone actually has already got it. No, in fact, it's Talik here. The man subbing in for Vibe, so he's the man to pick up the overshield. Let's see now what he does with it, whether he chooses to go aggressive or maybe playing a little bit more conservative here, as he is the sub here for Vibe.
Complete side note, but Septic has actually, with the killing spree, secures himself more kills than he actually got in the first initial round. So doing well already and doing much better, as Talik will go steaming in. Unfortunately, doesn't catch the guy, and with the beatdown, 2 more players very aggressively. So bye-bye goes the overshield. 2 players around that corner. He gets some help at least and gets a call out. We see SLG jump up as well. But look at that. Fragger with a nice hot 5 to the back of the skull. Down goes Talik. We're all tied up 17-17.
I'm impressed that Vibe are able to keep up. I mean, especially you've just got Talik in, who's a sub, and he's probably been kicking back. He's probably been watching the stream, just cup of tea in hand. Not really expecting to be playing Halo, just to be watching Halo. But he's keeping up with it. SLG hits an incredible sniper shot for the double. That was disgusting.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that he actually scoped him while flying through the air and bodied him for the double? And this is the kind of stuff that SLG just does. He doesn't give a damn. He will try and scope in. He will try and land the montage shots. Cristola did it last week, and now this could be the time of SLG. We are on his POV of the French captain. Looking at his teammates, you can see they're getting tagged up, and they're going to be definitely calling for help. The bullets will come flying out from top gold. You see Snipe Drone. Snipe Drone's going to be dropping down. But look at this rotation. He's actually pushing in quite aggressively. Rather than staying over where he was nice and safe, over at the sniper area, he's now become a little bit more fragile. He doesn't have any support, and players are rocking up over at the cafe.
Keep an eye on that timer in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It's about to tick over to 8 minutes. That means the overshield's coming up in the next 5 to 10 seconds. It was Talik to get it last time. Let's see who gets it this time.
The bigger question that I want to kind of put to you here, Dan, is he overcommitting too hard by looking for this and spent too much time looking for that kill?
Well, the answer is on your screen. He's a dead body, so yes, probably so. He did it against Fab last week. He got into that position and he was rewarded because you constantly saw Foxy pushing up to that top gold and he kept getting punished. This time, Vibe were very clever. They may have even spotted out. They may have smelled out that sniper being there and didn't jump to top gold. Either that or they were very fortunate. But Talik's going to get taken down to top gold. Overshield is up, and I think Snipe Drone's there with it.
Yeah, he's actually got a full one as well. Only a tiny bit knocked off, but they do know where he is. SLG's ridden a couple of shots down on him. Snipe Drone will answer back. Look towards the hotel, though. He's actually moved back into the cafe. That's going to be Punisher, I want to say. It's actually going to be Fragger going one-on-one. Sadness SMG in hand will do some damage. Grenade goes down. No hit markers are found. He's just backing off for a second. Still no hit markers. He's going steaming in. Still half shield. That's a cliffhanger medal as well as he tries to clamber out of the way. But you know what? It's an easy finish up when you got that gun in the hand.
And we're almost at the same position as to where we were before the reset. And it's kind of 30-30 point. But I would say Vibe have the slight advantage, not just because of the kills, but because of the map control. Pulse is stuck in this yard. As you see, Cali is just trying to get out, but he's going to get punished for poking his head round. No support actually for Snipe Drone until his teammates now push through yard as well. But the spawn is there for Pulse. They've spawned over by Sniper, so they're not trapped anymore. But Vibe definitely will know where they are. So now they can all just surround them and pincer them and punish them.
I love how we literally just hear that noise. Harry hits the button straight on the POV of Septic. That's 2 bullets, 2 headshots he's found. 5 left in the chamber. Talik's creeping. He sees a guy up on S4. Wonder if he tagged him up. He'll certainly be calling that one out, and that's why Septic's hard scoping there to see if he can get a tag off. Meanwhile, as we're looking down on the POVs, 13-12, you can see in the kill feed there some nice work. Unfortunately, not landing that one. Just trying to scope in, though. One player runs by, fires off a second one, doesn't catch that one either.
Once again, look at the corner, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, 6 minutes. When that passes, the next overshield will be coming up. Septic goes down with that sniper, but it was actually Punisher on the Pulse side who had 2 kills and 12 assists already so far in this game. So not a lot of slaying coming out of Punisher, but he's certainly doing the assisting work for his team.
Snipe Drone just tagging up one player, grenades going. The opposing force of Pulse Gaming look to see them grab that sniper and just beeline away. One person pokes out. That would have been a massive kill to play that one off. At least he drops. He didn't pick up the double. That person who walked to the bottom of the stairs did have no shield, so great play by his teammate. Use the bait and switch, give him some defense. Septic's going to give Punisher the hot 5. You can see there in the corner of the screen. 37-39 is the scoreline. Once again, Dan, this is a close match.
It is, and Pulse just picked that moment of when they were going to push out, and coincidentally, it was when the overshield was coming up, as so many teams do, and you see that teams try and set up around this overshield coming up, but it seems like they're never expecting that push. Always expect the push when overshield's coming up, but Vibe have regained control. They have forced Pulse back, and they've got a 5-kill cushion to work with here, as SLG does actually pick up a kill on Talik, so that's an important one. They need to just be getting these 1 kills and then backing off and supporting each other. They don't want to be getting caught out like that, and they don't want to be giving a sniper to Cristola.
Nope, there's one. Looking for the second. They're all around him. There's SLG. Snipe Drone just gives him some great covering fire. Takes one down. Goes for the quick scope. And lands. This is the kind of stuff that Cristola does. You give him a sniper. You give him a bullet. He finds a head. He will land it between someone's eyes almost every single time. Cali's there as well. Just kind of hovering, hoping for the no-scope to come in. Doesn't land it up, but Storm Rifle's in his back pocket. Well, as we're saying that across the screen, it just kept ticking over and ticking over. I had absolutely no idea. 50-40 will be your final scoreline. You can always tell which one's Talik on the end there with the unicorn helmet in its shining glory. Snipe Drone, 19 kills, 15-12 from Cristola and Septic. Unfortunately, Talik definitely one of the weaker players with 4-12, 3-12 for Punisher, but look at that golden arrow, Harry.
Yeah, 13 assists. I mean, to be fair, he had around, 2 kills and 12 assists at some point. I'm pretty sure I pointed that out on the commentary. So, certainly not the slaying output that you would expect out of Punisher. It's a bit of a shame, really. But you got to say, Snipe Drone, what a game from him. 19 kills, 11 assists, and 7 deaths. Well, that's the Snipe Drone that we know and love. But I think it just kind of speaks to how good Cristola is towards the end of that match when he had that sniper rifle. We didn't even know. I think he caught all of us here at the desk completely off guard at the fact the game had ended. I mean, we were all just so engrossed, so completely absorbed in his gameplay whenever he has the sniper. And SLG was hitting some nice stuff as well. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to drag his team through. So we're all tied up here in the series. Pulse Gaming 1, Vibe 1.
And honestly, this is kind of what we expected. 110%. This is what we expected, and I mean, look at that. Honestly, that is a sick shot.
It's absolutely filthy, and a lot of people will be saying, "Oh well, Vibe, they're 1-1 and they've got a sub." But I mean, Talik got 4 kills. He did very little that game. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think Vibe were pulling their weight and saying, okay, we've got a new fourth, we really need to step up here because he's not going to know our tactics. He's probably going to be a little bit cold because he's probably not been playing as well. And you saw all 3 of them just putting a lot on that scoreboard.
Now, we have an interesting update from the floor. Snakey has rejoined the game.
No, Snakey, go away. We won a game without you, bro. Just come on.
Hey, we've been told what's
so
going
I
on
have
in
to
the
do the
background
shortcuts
here.
again? Are you
Yes,
serious?
To be fair, you can go back to your original ones. And now Dan's just ruined it by putting a big line. But
No, I couldn't because Cristola jumped on his vibe game attack. He was on his normal attack before. This is the worst. We need some rules, please. Make sure you can't change your game attacks in the middle of a series.
So we have been told that Snakey is back in this game. However, if there is a disconnect from his end, it will be an instant map forfeit. So if he does disconnect, it will be Pulse Gaming who take that map. Very, very interesting. So we're just going to keep going with the flow here at the desk. Again, we do apologise for any miscommunication, mismatches, or anything from your guys' ends. I am being told the next game is being made, though. Snakey was waiting in the lobby, ready to rock and roll. So hopefully we get this one underway. We'll bring you a series layout on screen just to show you how this series is playing out so far. The 2 games that we have seen and the absolute definite 2 games that we will be seeing. But no doubt, I have no doubt in my mind, this will be going all the way to a Game 5.
You know what's the interesting one about this next game type? That I'm looking forward to the battle between Snakey, who really controls those rockets on this map, and Cali, who's just been timing pretty much everything for his team, making sure his team works around those weapons that are coming up on the map. Obviously, Coliseum, you have the sniper to play with, you have those rockets coming up as well, but we saw last week when Vibe played Prophecy, Snakey really was the difference maker, making sure his team got those rockets 9 times out of 10. He's just so good at corralling that weapon, man.
Looking forward to this one. Now, we have seen previous how, I mean, you mentioned it yourself over Snakey, but for me, I still kind of reminisce to what SLG were like when we were playing up against Fabi. He grabbed the sniper on this map, and he was destroying. And this game type, in fact, at the start, they went up 1-0 initially. Fair enough. I mean, Respectful just came in and shut it down and said, not today, my friends, and just threed it. Just grabbed 3 flags, banged them all in, one after the other. But SLG at the start of this map, last time they played Fab, he was destroying Fabi.
And sometimes when you get 2 teams that have such incredible snipers, you kind of get this standoff where both teams are so aggressive at just keeping that sniper that you don't really allow either team to get that sniper and allow them to make those shots that you usually do. And you just see the sniper sitting in that sniper area rather than getting pushed back to either of the corners. So it could be one of those games, or perhaps we might see Pulse get control of it early on like we did against Fab.
Well, who knows what's going to happen. Snakey back in tow. Again, they'll at least have the setups ready to rock and roll. As previously mentioned, Pulse did put up one hell of a matchup last time. They went against the current champions, which are Fabi. So they'll be fired up and ready to rock and roll on this map. Honestly, it's going to be a good one. And we have said that this series, it's more than likely going to go all the way. Currently tied up 1 apiece. Make sure you tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. Once again, guys, I want to apologise from our end for these slight delays. Thank you very much for bearing with us tonight. We'll try and give you guys as much fun as possible, but we do know you don't want to hear us talking all night long. We want to get on with some Halo Esports action, and here we go then. Capture the flag on Coliseum. First team to capture 3 flags will claim victory and take the map. Rock and roll, the music's kicked in, the map layout is showing you now, the weapons, the positions, the loadouts that are going to be played out through this game type. Red versus blue, Pulse versus Vibe. Game number 3, Snakey's POV. Let's do this.
Yeah, quite important that we kick off with Snakey because Harry was mentioning he does love that power weapon control. He is going to move over towards the sniper rather than the rockets at the start of the game, but quite rightly getting the double with those grenades there. And I believe that's all 4 members, maybe just 3, down for Pulse. So now Vibe can push on, they can start to get set up, and they'll be communicating about these spawns. It does look like they've spawned over at the rocket side, and Cristola goes in with the rockets, and that is going to be a nice early run for them.
I really actually love the patience there out of Snakey. You said, is it 4, is it 3 that are down? I think Snakey knew, hey, Cali's coming off the spawn. If I die really quickly, this flag run is dead. Right now, that flag is already on the move. It's going to be Septic in the end who's going to corral this forward, but we can see in the kill feed, it's constantly Cristola. I'm pretty sure he's on a killing spree already in this game, and this is going to be an early flag cap here for Vibe.
And there we have it, banging one straight in the back of the net. That's a fantastic start from them. You do not want to give Pulse any room whatsoever, because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. They've done it to teams time and time again. If you show any weakness, they will claw through and take full advantage. Grenade goes in, 2 players will drop, down goes the scatter shot. Snakey now having a look at team captain SLG. He's going to run that down towards the rocket corner on elbow. Couple of grenades going to go in, try and get some hit markers and find out where they are. SLG, though, look at that aggression. He says, bring it on, Snaky. I'll take a free gunfight. I'll take you down as well. And now we see a little one-on-one going for the flag. It's going to be currently in the hands of Punisher. Grenade goes in, looking for the hit markers, and now he can make an advancement with this SMG, but he fights back himself. Massive kill, though, coming out of Punisher. Fair enough, Septic shuts it down and comes in with a hot double kill. Looking for the triple. We're actually going to see a nice flag return, though, as one player, not entirely sure which one that was, comes in, gets the return, and now we're back, still 1-0 in the bag.
Even though Snipe Drone didn't get that kill, his movement was pure on disgusting. He just was able to dilly-dally around that flag long enough that his teammate could come and support him and make sure that flag was going absolutely nowhere. Because the flag knew he was there, he couldn't push on. So I don't really mind that he did die there. So great work from him. And now Pulse, they just need to push on. They need to work together if they're going to be getting this flag, as we do see a disconnect happen.
Snaky again.
And there we go.
Snaky going. I believe you said the ruling would be a map forfeit.
Yes, I have been advised that if he did disconnect, they wanted to carry on this one, that they would be forfeiting the map, as Harry holds the back button just to confirm that it is Snaky. Oh,
yeah.
We didn't get a chance to do that one. We will get confirmation in here in just a second, all being well, that is happening.
It's not Snaky.
It's not.
Snaky's not here.
Ah, okay. I understand. I saw what you did there.
Oh, it was Snaky who lagged out. No, yeah.
Once again, guys, I can only apologise for this. It's beyond anyone's control at the moment. I'll get a full confirmation of me exactly what's going to be playing out. We'll give you guys an update. I think the best course of action will be going very shortly to a break, and then we can get back with some really good information on how we're going to be playing this one out.
You know what I think should happen? Shout out to my boy on set, DQ.
Is he all about that?
Yeah.
Is he all
We
about
love
that
just
life?
handing out DQs.
Is that? that's kind of you all over, Mr. Savage.
You can't just say DQ. It's DQ.
Is this some sort of wrestling thing that I don't know about? Triple
no,
X,
I watch
I've
wrestling.
never watched
and it's definitely
wrestling
not.
in my life.
I used to watch it when I was younger. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yes. Stone Cold Stunner.
What was it? The rattlesnake, was it?
The rattlesnake.
The rattlesnake.
Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Something
With
like
the cans of beer. We used to absolutely love it. But, guys, we are going to take this one to a break. When we come back, I'll let them carry on. When we come back, we'll have some more updates. Please bear with us. We may even be moving on to the next series. I'll let you know as soon as we're back. Do not go anywhere. Once again, please bear with us. We apologise for this. See you soon. Alright guys, welcome back. This is game number 4. It's going to be the Rig Strongholds. Unfortunately, Snaky did disconnect on that one, and the ruling was that Vibe will forfeit that last map, so it's currently 2-1 in favour of Pulse Gaming. They only need this final map to seal the deal and take the series. Currently going to be kicking things off with Punisher's POV.
I believe Talek has come back in as a substitute replacement. It is very unfortunate for Vibe, but unfortunately these things do happen every now and then, as we see Punisher taking on Talek, but Talek will actually, both of them backing off. They don't want to give away any easy kills, but this is a good early start from Pulse. They forced Vibe back into that BR base, and now Vibe will have the challenge of getting out of that BR base, as it is ever so difficult sometimes. You see Talek trying to sneak around that corner, but Punish was there waiting for him. Sorry.
Oh, what? Reversal medal? I have literally no idea how he managed to get that kill. That is massive. Double coming out of Christor in the kill feed. Septic finished one off as well. So that's going to be 3 members down of Pulse Gaming. They're coming off of the respawn. They still have nest control. They're going to take the yard as well. So at least, BR base, so at least they can kind of keep ticking away on points, but look at the aggression coming out on Vibe. 2 members just dive bombing into nest. They'll transfer that one back down, and remember, you control the nest, you control this game.
Yeah, you definitely do, and that's why I was kind of concerned that Punisher pushed away from it after getting that kill onto Talek. He went to BR base because he saw that basement was getting taken, but I would rather him just try and contest that nest for a little bit longer and allow his teammates perhaps to come and support him. I
want to give a massive shout out actually to Chris Solo. We saw in the kill feed countless times. I think it was 2 doubles back to back there for Vibe. That really helped them, and at the moment they've got total control. Excuse me, no, they're on the receiving end of total control. So it's actually Pulse with such a great start to this game, 22-5 at the moment in favour of Pulse. So they're looking very strong in this series.
Yeah, great shots coming off from both sides there. Talek will try and stay alive. Unfortunately, he will be put down. Fragger's going to kind of seal the deal with that one with the BR. Cristola also in the kill feed will be taking down Snipe Drone. That's 2 members now. And look at this time, 27-5. Putting it on the board, and really, at the moment, Pulse just doing some serious damage to Vibe. Fair enough, we have to mention they are running with a sub. Unfortunately, these things do happen. As the player left, unfortunately, in the corner there, so we will be looking at exactly what happens
cursed.
next, unfortunately. It's one of these things. I can only apologise for this, guys. It's completely beyond our control at this moment in time. We'll just carry on as normal. We'll be getting a full ruling in the air there. I believe it will be. I think when it's a disconnect in that one, it's a continuation. I think.
There we go.
Well, there we go. We do apologise. Now we are on. Hopefully, this is the last game we see. God, please let it be so. Grenades are going in thick and fast. Well, that's what a way to start off.
Thick and fast, as Rich says so often, and I love it when he says it because you know it means he's getting excited about the Halo action that is unfolding as Pulse are pushing on for a triple cap nice and early on, and Vibe, they're trying to move over to that basement, but there are actually still a couple of players there to contest it from Pulse, and SLG has a camouflage to work with.
And as you can tell, they want to finish this one as much as we do. Oh, creepy, sneaky Beaver going in. Puts a couple of pot shots in with the AR, whips out the BR looking for the 4, doesn't quite land it. Snipes runs map movement though, bouncing around. He does get cleaned up, but still 3 cap in full effect. The time is ticking away, and honestly, I mean, it's a very difficult scenario here. It's a very difficult scenario. Things don't look good for Team Vibe, unfortunately. These things do happen, and if they lose this one, all I can say is I'm really sorry and commiserations to them. 24 points, though, in the bag, moving up to 25. This could be a 0-point game for them.
It could, and I was saying how it's difficult for a substitute when you get thrown into these situations. You just saw Talek there. He was on his own, running around, and he just got taken down.
What a reset.
He needs to just try and stick with his teammates, regardless of how well he thinks he might play on his own or what he's used to doing with his team. Just stick behind someone and follow them. Just go with that buddy system. That's going to be the best way you can help Vibe at the moment. There is little hope for Vibe when you are in, especially the Rig Strongholds, when it is really about control and you do have these setups and it is about map movement and rotation. It's going to be so tough.
I want to give a massive shout out there to Cali. I mean, we saw on our screens what great hold-up play. He was just baiting himself behind that wall, just making Vibe players overextend for him. He had Punisher for help, and the two of them were working in tandem really well. And finally, Vibe is starting to put points on the board, but you've got to say, is it too little too late? I mean, at this moment in time, what is that? Pulse will only need around 40 more points. So Pulse looking very good in this one, and they could potentially close out the series.
Yeah, just 36 more needed now for them. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pulse continue with this aggression, continue to push on for that triple cap. It used to be that you would just go with the 2 and you kind of stick with that, but now, ever since the change, when you saw that basement got a little bit bigger, that's when people have been going around now, and you just go for that full total control, and that's what Pulse are demonstrating for us today, and it's looking in pretty good shape for them, Sims.
Yeah, unfortunately, Talek just trying to stay alive there. Living life on the edge, no pun intended, but he really was clutching at straws. Grenades were coming in thick and fast. 2 pots do transfer, but oh, nice, very sneaky beat down there with the camo. No one's going to be seeing him. Coming out of nowhere, 2 members will drop down into the basement. That's going to be a nice, easy transfer for them. And as Harry mentioned, look at the time. They only need to get to 78 to seal the deal on this series and really kind of stamp their mark on the European Pro League. And at this moment in time, it's just Fragger wandering around with this camo, just happily cleaning people off. Shotgun in hand, there's one. Seconds round the corner. Oh, doesn't quite land it. Grabs the double. There's the triple right in front of him. Bang, down you go, Talek, my friend. Triple kill in hand. And this is just the waiting game.
Yeah, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Fragger, I mean, Pulse have had the camouflage both times now, and they've just been able to push on with it, get aggressive, and make sure that Vibe don't really have a chance to move here, and it's just going to be a formality with only, what, 10 more points needed now for Pulse to win this one and win the series, and actually, regardless of what's happened with substitutes and disconnects, this is a massive win for Pulse. They really needed it in the league. It means they can push on, it means they can look towards the future now and get away from that relegation zone.
I mean, I don't want to play too heavy on this. At the end of the day, what's happened has happened, and we can't move on from that one. It's just tough luck. But Pulse still, in the initial game, you know, it was a well-deserved win. They've been putting up a fight. They've been living up to this standard. They've been playing out of their mind, and we kind of mentioned it. It's a different Pulse gaming to what we saw back in the summer season. Still, Vibe, they're doing a little bit of work. It's going to be hard now as they will take BR base. It all comes down to Snipe Johnny. If you can do anything here, but they're spawning at back bunker, and they're all just going to dive into that one. 2 more points. He's going to tick over. There's 77, looking for 78. It's up to 79 because the triple cap is in full effect. More than likely, looks like they're going to be cancelling this one, and there you have it. Pulse Gaming will claim victory and take the series, regardless again of the issues. This it's a big win. You know, this team have been putting up a fight. They've been gradually getting better. Fragger, you said, took full advantage of it, my friend, and he did just that. 3 kills, 2 kills, and 4 kills. I can imagine on the other side it's been very demoralizing going through these issues, but Fragger just took full advantage. You know, you completely called it, grab the camo and do some work.
Snipedrone got more kills than his 3 teammates combined in the replay right there. So Snipedrone really the only one turning up to the replay, but you got to say a very well-played game, well-played replay there from Pulse. Obviously they were going up against Vibe, who did have a sub. It's hard to come back from that, but you got to say Pulse, they played very well in the games that they did. They were able to play. So well done to them. They will get a win on the board. So now they're sitting 2 and 3 in the league, and Vibe will go down to 3 and 2, still second, but results today could potentially change that.
Yeah, a really important win for these guys, and as Sim said earlier, regardless of issues, it doesn't really matter for them. They'll just be happy to get another win on the board. And Vibe will be frustrated, but they can also take the positives out of it. When they were playing well, they did look strong still, and now they just have to move on and look towards tomorrow's fixture.
I mean,